your mind be formless, like water. And you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot.
Welcome to my tactical guide to one of the most complex, hard, but exhilarating bosses we have yet seen in WoW. Many inaccuracies and rumours circulate the web about the tactics of this boss, so I've made this tactical guide so others can enjoy this fight as we have. I hope it helps you out, because even the hardcore guilds are getting stuck on this boss. Before we begin about the boss, it's worth mentioning about the trash here, because it's just some insane trash. But the trick to killing it is actually simple. Mark them all up for tanking, sheeping and fearing, and the others immune to that just tank them obviously. You can crowd control them all in this way. The only ones immune to sheeping and fearing are the Blood Warder Vindicators, the Blood Warder Squires, Crimson Hand Blood Knights, and the Blood Warder Marshals. So off tank these, but all the others just mark them up for sheeping or fearing. Even while you're killing them, have a Warlock spam fear on it so that it can't one-shot people with his 18k hits while you're killing it. So spam fears like you can see I'm doing here.
My people are addicted to it. A dependence made manifest after the Sunwell was destroyed. Welcome to the future. A pity you're too late to stop it. No one can stop me now. Salamat Ashalanore.
Okay, let's look at the boss encounter. Phase 1. Killing his ads one by one. They will spawn always in the same order. Thildra the Darkener, then Lord Sanguina, then Grand Astromancer Caprinian, and finally Master Engineer Taclonocus. Let's take a look at Thildra the Darkener, the first one. With this dude, no one must be close to him. Keep always ranged and a nice distance from him, so no melee. Make sure everyone has a target enabled, because what he does is target someone and then chases that person around a bit, then switches to another person, and so on until he's dead. When he targets you, kite him around the room. making sure he never catches up with you while everyone DPS him down while he's being kited. This is the kite path you should take him on, with a raid standing here in the middle, so everyone can nuke him without having to chase behind him or anything, because you can just rotate around to nuke him as he's kited. You won't take aggro off the person he's looking at, so just nuke away as hard as you can until you get him down. Let's see the actual battle so you can see what I mean. Notice how deadly boss mods had put a skull over the head the one he's following.
Forgive me, my prince. I have failed.
Lord Sanguina.
Tank Lord Sanguina here. This is important because he must die here because of what happens in the later phase when he resurrects. Use Fear Ward on the tank if you have it, and casters stand max range to minimize the AoE fearing he will do to everyone.
Grand Astromancer Capiniran.
Grand Astromancer Capiniran. Use a nice Warlock to tank this mini-boss with. So use Misdirect Shot and don't DPS until the Warlock has the Zad positioned at the back of the room, as again, this is where the Zad must die. As you can see here, the Warlock is using the fabulous drain tanking technique to tank this mob at the back of where she needs to be, and we DPS her here. While you're killing this boss, don't do any melee and all casters stand the max range possible you can from her. Also, everyone must spread out and not be close to each other.
This is not!
Master Engineer Kael'thas.
Now, the last and final ad. Make sure just before Grand Astromancer Capiniran dies, that the tank and his healer are already in position to pick up this ad immediately. Again, don't DPS until it's in position where it must die. You can see here where it needs to be killed. Off to the side, on the opposite side of where we killed Lord Sanguina. Just tank and spank him down. Melee, don't stand too close to the MT, because this dude throws bombs at him. One thing to be careful of here though, is that if the tank gets the remote control toy debuff, or any of the weapon tanks do, stop DPS until it passes. They can use free action potion on the last 30 seconds of this debuff if they want.
More perils await.
As soon as the Master Engineer dies, Phase 2 pops. Okay, Phase 2. Now things get interesting. You're on a timer now, so be quick. You have a number of options here. You can single target or AoE down the weapons. AoEing them is best in my opinion, so I'm going to show you that way.
As you see, I have many weapons in my arsenal.
So, the last mini-boss dies, and then the tanks all tank the different weapons. So have a tank on the sword plus shield, another on the mace, another on daggers and staff, another on the axe, and have a hunter tank the bow. The tank should group everything up for AoEing except for the axe and bow. Okay, let's look at that in a little more detail. See here how our tanking druid takes the axe around the back of the boss, so that when it spins it can't hit anybody. As he does this, all the warlocks throw a curse of doom onto it, as they all run over with all the other casters to here, to kill the bow. All the casters are killing the bow as fast as they can, while the axe is tanked over here, nice and safely. Meanwhile, all the melee are on the other weapons. As soon as the bow is dead, all the casters switch over to AoEing the rest of the weapons. And the tank on the axe makes sure the axe is positioned so that it gets AoE too, but being careful not to be too close as to let it hit anybody else but him. Now, as the weapons die, something very important needs to happen. Everyone needs to loot and use the legendary weapons that they need for the next phases of this battle, and they have to do it fast, as the weapons despawn quickly after they've died. So, as soon as the Netherstrand longbow dies, the hunters need to loot and use it. All the rogue and DPS warriors loot the infinity blades and the warp slicers to dual wield them. Don't bother with the axe, just leave it unlooted. All tanking warriors loot the sword and the shield, and all casters loot the staff. All healers loot the mace, the cosmic infuser. Phase 3 is the same as Phase 1 pretty much, but instead of having to kill the mini-bosses one by one, you have them all at the same time. Normally that would be a nightmare, but because you have the legendary weapons and their special abilities, you can do this phase no problemo. Phase 3. This phase will pop 2 minutes after Phase 2 popped. So as you can see, Phase 2 needs to be completed real fast. Some of the weapon's special abilities activate automatically just from using the weapon, but some needs to actually be activated. For example, the staff's special ability. So once you loot the staff, use as in click on it, as you would an active trinket, so you activate the special ability of it. The special abilities of these legendary weapons are vital now to the success of all subsequent phases of the battle.
Perhaps I underestimated you. It would be unfair to make you fight all 4 advisors at once, but fair treatment was never shown to my people. I'm just returning the favor.
Best idea is send all the casters onto the Theladrid the Darkener, plus 1 dude with a dagger so that DPS is boosted, but save 1 caster to go to the Master Engineer Telekinus, so the legendary staff keeps everyone immune from the remote toy staff. And while all the casters are killing Theladrid the Darkener, have all the melee on Lord Sanguina. When Theladrid the Darkener dies, all the casters switch over to killing Grand Astromancer Caponiran, and the melee switch over to killing Master Engineer Telekinus. Make sure a warrior with a legendary shield is tanking Lord Sanguina, so he can immunitize himself from the fears. The way to do this is alternate between Berserker Rage and using special ability of the shield, so that you can cancel every fear. You have 3 minutes until Phase 4 will pop, so you need to go real hardcore DPS mode on these ads, so you kill them all before Phase 4 pops.
Sometimes one must take matters into one's own hands.
Galamor Canal!
This is not!
When Phase 4 is about to pop, have all the shamans pop the heroism. This is not just to help the raid, but also to ensure if a shaman is mind controlled by the boss can't ninja heroism for himself and rape the raid, because it will be cooling. Phase 4, killing the boss. During Phase 4, Kael'thas has a number of special abilities, all of which are circumvented using the legendary weapon's special abilities. Make sure the main tank has all the buffs on him at all times, i.e. the staff buff, the mace buff, etc. And of course the rest of the raid too, should they need it. And make sure the boss has all the debuffs stacked on him at all times too, i.e. from the bow, the dagger, etc. Every 30 seconds, 2 people will be mind controlled by the boss. As soon as this happens, a rogue or someone with a legendary dagger needs to dispel the mind control off this person fast, by hitting them with a dagger. Use your lowest white damage attack possible, or some non-damaging attack ability, so you don't actually kill the person, but just touch them with a dagger so you can break the mind control off them. Here you see me being mind controlled, and here someone is hitting me with a dagger to break it. Once every minute, Kael'thas will put up a shock barrier on himself. When he does this, it needs to be burnt down with hardcore DPS really fast, so everyone, including the healers, all switch over to DPSing the boss when his shock barrier is on him. It absorbs about 100k damage, and while it's up, no one can interrupt his spell casting, so you must get it off him really fast. While his shock barrier is up, the tank is going to take pyroblast attacks from the boss every 4 seconds, and these do 45 to 55k damage each. So what you must do is, while the whole raid is DPSing down the shock barrier on the boss, on the first pyroblast cast, the tank must use his shield special ability to absorb all the damage from the first pyroblast. Then, for the second pyroblast, you must have the shock barrier burnt down by then. This means you have to have it down within 7 seconds, so you can interrupt the casting of the second and any other pyroblast, which will happen after 8 seconds. This gives you a 1 second window, so no slacking. During this whole battle, the boss will summon phoenixes. When he summons one, run away from the place where it is spawning, so you don't take any damage. But once the phoenix has spawned, kill it fast. Put a tank on it, and you can put Curse of Exhaustion on it and other things too, to help you. When the phoenix dies, it will lay an egg, so kill this egg really fast before it can hatch into another phoenix. Once you get the boss down to 50% HP, Phase 5 will kick in. Phase 5.
I have not come this far to be stopped! The future I have planned will not be jeopardized! Now you will taste true power!
Now, Phase 5 has popped. The boss will make a transformation into a bigger version of himself, and now he has new abilities too. He will no longer mind control or pyroblast during this phase, thank God, and he can do other things now.
Let us see how you fare when your world is turned upside down.
Every minute or so, he will gravity lapse the raid, making you all fly up into the air for 30 seconds. While you're all swimming around in the air, he will shoot nether beams at you, doing around 2k damage to people. These jump from player to player like chain lightning, so make sure you spread out. Also, anyone who is within 8 yards of the boss during the gravity lapse phase will get hit with a nether vapor debuff which takes shadow damage into you. So when gravity lapse casts, make sure you swim away from the boss so you're out of range of getting this. When gravity lapse is about to run out, swim lower to the ground so you don't take full damage when you drop back to earth. By the way, when he does his shock barriers, just ignore them and wait for it to run out. because he doesn't do Barra Blast anymore. Just nuke down the boss during phase 5. It's really pretty easy phase. Nuke, 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 and you will kill them for sure.
Having trouble staying grounded?
Good luck with your battles with this boss. My name is Tamzin. I hope my tactical guide helps you if you're stuck on this boss. 好啦，拜拜。好啦，再見。希望你哋玩得開心啲啦。
Демоны кружили надо мной, рассекали тернии Млечные пути, не знают счастья только тот, кто его злого понять не
Good job, guys.
Well, so long.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, yes, thank you guys.
This was fucking cool. Stormreaver.
Nice job, congrats guys.